So at this point, I'm pretty sure we've all heard about the controversial university essay in Oklahoma. Oh, the governor's getting involved, the university's getting involved. They're discriminating against the students. It's all over news medias, it's all over social media. Everybody's arguing about it, and everybody seems to have an opinion on what's going on. And when you try to go search up online what is happening, you can only get just third-hand sources or third-party accounts of what's going on, which is just basically someone's opinion of what's going on the essay. You can't actually get the essay and see what the essay was, what the rubric was, what the whole situation actually is. It's mostly just people's opinion and like super biased news sources that are reporting on it. So I thought in order to help anyone who's confused about this situation, I make a actual like objective analysis of the situation and try to see what's going on and try to show you guys the actual essay and the actual rubric so you understand the whole situation. So all the way back in November, there's a student called Samantha Fulnecky, and she's in the University of Oklahoma. She's doing a basic psychology university class. And in the class, one of the teachers, which is a TA, is a graduate student, assigns a reading of an article. The article is basically about how people who don't conform to gender norms get bullied a lot more than people who do. And it's just a study showing that, it does affect their mental health because they are not conforming. They do get bullied more. They do experience more negative emotion. That's pretty much just the results of the study in the article. Now, I did a lot of research and I wasn't able to find the exact article that she was assigned, but I think I found something that's kind of like it. I think the actual article is behind a paywall, so you'd have to actually be in the university to be able to get access to the article, but I'm pretty sure the article was just about the study of how people's negative emotions get affected because they're not conforming to gender norms. But anyway, she gets assigned this article and she has to write a reaction paper or reaction assignment that's 650 words, and it's just her reaction, and you're gonna see it on the rubric. It's a lot more detailed than just give your reaction to this article. It's actually like specifications on what kind of things you should be writing about. But she writes her paper, and in the paper there's a lot of biblical themes, a lot of claims about the Bible, a lot of claims about what God wants for us, a lot of claims about how society's becoming demonic by affirming gender nonconformity. So she writes this whole essay, submits it, and the TA gives it a 0 out of 25. After which she's very infuriated because I'm sure her grade got cooked. Her grade probably got destroyed by that. So she takes it up with the university, and the governor also gets to hear about this. And they all decide that they're going to put the TA on administrative leave, and the essay isn't going to affect her grade. And the governor basically says, oh, this is religious discrimination. This is her expressing her faith, and you guys are discriminating because you want to discriminate against Christians. She also did a bunch of interviews with the news where she expressed her opinion.
I do think they're doing the right thing by putting the TA on administrative leave. If you can't, do your job right in any setting, you get fired.
I'm pretty sure the university just didn't want to get any flack, so they just said, hey, like, TA, just get out of here, like, this is not a good situation for you to be in. This is not a good look for our university. Let's go. We don't want to be religiously discriminating against people. Anyways, after this, the news catches on about it, and then goes on the news, and now it's on social media, and everybody's arguing, giving their opinion on the essay. Oh, the essay was so bad, the essay was great. Okay, let's see it. Let's read the actual essay. So starting off, let's start with the rubric so we can actually know what the assignment is and what was supposed to be done for the assignment. Alright, so this is the rubric for the actual assignment. You must write a 650 word body of text, a double-spaced reaction paper demonstrating that you read the assigned article. It should include a thoughtful reaction to the material presented in the article. Points will be deducted, deficient in these areas, blah, 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 whatever. Criteria for you to get a good grade. Please remember that your reaction to this paper should not just be a summary, but rather a thoughtful discussion of some aspect of the article. And then it goes on to list some of the suggestions that you could write about. You could write about a discussion of why you feel the topic is important and worthy of study or not, an application of the study or results to your own experiences, an application of the study or results to observations about other behaviors, linking the objectives or findings from the assigned article to other domains of development and other findings that we read or discuss in class, a suggestion for further studies, alternate interpretations of research or findings, a discussion of how development in this domain might proceed differently at other developmental stages, your own thoughts about how development proceeds in the domain. So there's a lot of This is a very broad assignment. It's not very clear. It's not like, okay, this is the exact thing you're going to write about, answer these specific questions. It's a very broad thing. It's just like, okay, give your relative reaction and kind of cite reasons to why you feel like this. Okay, so now let's go read the actual essay that she wrote and see if it matches up with the stuff on the rubric. Okay, so this essay is a bit long, so you guys can just read the full thing on screen right here, but I'm just going to highlight a few points throughout the essay. So the essay is really filled with claims about what God wants for us and claims about what God's intention is. She talks about how she strongly disagrees that we're pushing diverse gender expressions and that this is a demonic thing for society to be going into. And then at the end she says, my prayer for the world and specifically for American society and youth is that they would not believe the lies being spread from Satan. I pray that they feel God's love and acceptance as who he originally created them to be. So here we have a essay in a science class. Psychology is a science class that talks about God 14 times, cites the Bible 2 times, and it includes 2 prayers at the end of the essay. Okay, so going back to the rubric, we can see that this is definitely a reaction paper. She's giving her reaction, that we can definitely see that. But I think she misinterpreted the guideline as just say whatever you're feeling and just, kind of just give your fullest, truest feelings about this kind of article. Which, by looking at the suggested things that you should write about, doesn't really, I don't think that's included in them, because all of them kind of include connecting the ideas back to something else in your life, or including scientific evidence that why it should not be studied. I think the biggest issue in this essay is this is a university level science class. This is a psychology class, and we have God mentioned 14 times, but evidence is not mentioned once. Studies are not mentioned once. Any experiments or developments in psychology are not mentioned once. It's completely filled with Bible thumping and giving sermons about what God wants for us. The best steelman case of her essay I can give is that she kind of expressed why this article isn't, or this topic isn't worth being studied, which does match one of the criteria. But that's as far as I can go. Even playing devil's advocate for this is not enough, because it's not backed by any scientific evidence. It's not backed by any objective evidence or studies. It honestly feels like reading the transcript of an average Sunday sermon. This kind of reaction would be fine if this was like a survey or a kind of just like overall write about your experience, and this assignment is graded on participation. This would be totally fine for a participation grade. But this is a university level psychology class, a science class, which you're supposed to cite sources and give evidence and give reasons that are not the Bible for what you're saying. But even after all of this, I will say 0 out of 25 is a bit harsh. I mean, that's the grade you give someone for not doing an assignment at all. At least she did something and she did turn it in, so maybe give her like an 8 or 10 out of 25. It seems like a bit harsh to give 0 out of 25. But after the university told the TA to go on administrative leave and they brought a supervising professor in to grade the essay again, that professor also gave a failing grade, because I mean, if you just look at the rubric, none of the stuff mentioned on the essay matches the rubric. So it's not even about, oh, this is Christian, this is Christianity, I don't like it, so I'm going to give this a 0. It's about, this is not the assignment. And honestly, this is just a one-off case. It's like, it's whatever, give her the grade, give her whatever she needs to pass, it's fine. But it's just the university doing this and the governor going along with this is setting a really bad precedent that you can just cry religious discrimination and get whatever you want. And it's kind of not a big deal when it's a psychology class, because you're sitting there and a lot of people don't, for some reason, a lot of people don't think psychology is real science. They think it's just people observing things and writing it down. So I guess that's also why there's not that big of an outcry for this. But imagine if this was like a biology class, which is clearly a science class, and there was an assignment saying, okay, read this article about the new findings on evolutionary biology and write what's interesting about it, write your reaction about it, maybe cite 2 sources about what you find interesting. Now, if someone were to, for that assignment for the biology class, turn in a essay like this, where it's full of sightings of the Bible and God's intention and how Adam and Eve are actually where we came from, and evolution is actually Satan's lie to the world, and that you will be raising your children to not think that evolution is real, then would we also be okay with that grade getting changed after they complain to the university, they complain to the governor that this is what they believe. In the biology class, they want to write about their religious views. I think both the university and the governor are setting a really bad precedent, because they're saying, hey, if you're crying religious persecution, we'll just get rid of the person for you. Like, at a moment's notice, they'll be gone. You'll get the grade because it's religious persecution. We're not going to tolerate religious persecution on this campus. And obviously, there are professors that are religiously discriminating against people. They're going to grade assignments in a biased way. They're going to give you bad grades because you're a certain religion. And I think the university, and even maybe sometimes the governor, should investigate that and take action against that. I think they did a good job in this case on investigating what's going on, but the response wasn't good. The response shouldn't have been, oh, here you go, here's what you want on a silver platter. This is the grade you want. You want this professor out of your class? Here you go. I think that sets a really dangerous precedent for people to want to use religious discrimination to just get their way with things. I mean, how many more professors were we going to bring in here until she gets a 25 out of a 25 on this grade? You're going to just keep bringing professor after professor, and they're going to keep telling you it's a failing grade. This is not the assignment. This is not doing what's said on the rubric. And you're going to keep bringing in new professors until she gets 25 out of 25. I mean, how many backs are we going to keep bending backwards until we realize maybe she needs to revise this essay because it's not fulfilling the criteria of the rubric? I think we need to be very careful with this idea of using religious discrimination to get our way, because it's going to become a lot bigger than just, hey, I want this grade on this assignment. People are going to use it for a lot more. But anyways, that's the full situation on the controversial Republican essay, or whatever headline you've been hearing, whatever thing's been discussed on social media. There's the full essay. There's what's going on. Now you can make your own opinion about it. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching it to the end. Press the like button, press subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.